the best time of the year to get tattooed or pierced?
I think that kind of depends on where you live, climate-wise and stuff. Around here, gosh, it kind of depends. It depends on you, really. I've got people that work on roofs, that build houses, that are around concrete dust, that, you know, blue-collar people that work, and they don't want to have to babysit a tattoo while they're in all those conditions. And those, they stick to the wintertime, and they come in, a lot of times they're laid off or they're not working as much, so they've got that time. And they're not having to babysit it while they're working. So in that regard, it's awesome. Wintertime is great. On top of that, you don't have the sun, you're not, you know, a lot of times you're not going to the beach. You know, you're not doing a lot of those summer activities to where taking care of a tattoo
Swimming,
can slow you down.
and things like that. Yeah.
Right, swimming, boating, and things like that. Summertime is really not a great time because of all those things. You know, you've got a lot of activities, the sun, your skin a lot of times.
Sunburnt for half of the population is generally that time of the year is, you know, and
right.
It's kind of a tough time. People, I mean, it's our busiest time, but
right.
yeah.
And I think that's because, you know, they're out there. You know, you go to the store, you see 50 people with tattoos, you're thinking, man, I need to get in there and get me a tattoo. And it's in the wintertime, not only are you not seeing it, but I can't show it off anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I'll wait till spring, I'll wait till summer, and then I can show it. So I think that's
Or
why.
I'm going to a tropical location in the middle of February.
Mm-hmm.
I need a tattoo a week before, or a piercing a week before I go down there, so I can show it off when I show off my new bikini.
Right.
Not a good idea.
Right. So it really kind of depends, I think, when is the best time. Just kind of depends on the person, their lifestyle, what's coming up, and yeah, what they could possibly do to mess it up. What do you?
I would think wintertime is generally a better time. Fall, wintertime, in the cooler seasons, maybe not if it's a really cold time of year or whatever. You don't want to be doing it when you have to be wearing your heaviest snow coats constantly. If if you shovel sidewalks for a living in the wintertime, maybe that's not the best time of the year.
Right.
Maybe a couple of weeks before it starts snowing heavily or after when it starts warming up, but also before that summertime really kicks in. So those kind of fall, spring times I think are great. I mean, it's only a 2-week healing process, 2 to 3 weeks for a tattoo to heal up. So, you know, you think if you get it in spring or fall, you have kind of your medium to lightweight kind of clothing on that's not really affecting it too much. It's easy enough to kind of show it off, and it's not being damaged by the sun and by those summer activities. So I think those spring and fall times are kind of my favorite times to see people getting tattooed, but again, like you said, it's all based on everybody and their job, their lifestyle, you know, how they go about and conduct their own healing process in general.
Right.
So,
what about?
I've had people ask me that, you know, is the wintertime a bad time to get tattooed because my skin's drier?
Mm-hmm.
Does that really affect it? Because I've always wondered that myself.
It can a bit. You might. Well, you just have to babysit it a little more. You know, you might have to put the lotion. You put the lotion on its skin a little more often, maybe a couple more times. But yeah, other than that, though, I don't notice a big difference in healing. It might. Yeah, it just might stay a little itchier, a little drier, a
if
little
you
longer.
think your skin's in the area that you want to get tattooed, if you think it's drier than it should be prior to your tattoo,
pre-moisturize.
Yeah. Lotion it up the day or two beforehand a couple of times every now and then just to make sure it's a really healthy skin area.
Yeah, that doesn't hurt.
And that goes a long way in our favor.
Yeah, make that skin supple and easy to work with, and that'll help all the way around, because easier it is for us to get the pigment in there, the less we have to traumatize the skin, easier it's going to put itself back together.
Yeah,
and the quicker.
dry skin's not going to take the ink nearly as well as
and you're
healthy and fresh.
In that drier skin, like it's like around an elbow. I mean, when you're working around an elbow, it's slow because there's so many little pits and grooves and cracks to keep it clean enough to be able to see what you're doing. It takes a lot more time, and in a small way, dry skin can do that same thing. That ink will get into that skin. It stays, you know.
It's in the cracks between the skin, and you just
so
can't
not
wipe
only is
the
it
ink out
slowing
so
you down, every time you drag that towel across the skin, it's a micro abrasion. Practically, it's like sandpaper. So you're irritating the skin. So it's slowing you down. It's causing more trauma to the skin. It's causing more pain in the long run.
And
So
inflammation.
if you really
which
want
can
to
alter what the design looks like afterwards.
exactly. So I mean, if you really want to break it down, but it all really all comes down to how well someone takes care of it and their lifestyle and what they have to do for a job or to keep the lights on. That trumps taking care of a tattoo at that point. So to avoid those times, I think is just the important point.
And before we move on to the piercing part, this episode is brought to you in part by
Delicious Death Before Decaf Coffee, which we've been drinking a lot of, as you can tell by my
It's good
enthusiasm.
coffee.
Good stuff. This is the fall. This is the shiner, but fall as fuck is our favorite, and not only just because it has the F word in it.
Yeah,
Well, that's why it's my favorite, but it tastes super good too.
He's so mature.
because we don't give a fuck about monetization.
No, we are doing this for free coffee, and that's it. Well,
There we
cheap
go.
coffee. Anyway,
With piercings, the commitment's a lot longer.
Yeah,
You're looking
true.
at anything that's below the neck, anywhere from 6 months to a year to heal. In the torso piercings, genital piercing a little faster, and then upper, anything that's on your head, a couple months. So the things I always tell people is you want to think about the fall's good, especially if you're healing out like nipple piercings, because they're a notorious slow healer, or navel piercings. Plus, it's going to be, it's going to look good by the time you hit the beach.
That's true.
In the summertime, opposed to, well, maybe not the nipples, depending on where you go.
yeah, hey,
But like a navel piercing.
favorite beaches.
Yeah, how you're distracting me
Nipple
now.
Beach.
Nipple Beach. Yeah, Florida.
Who
That
wouldn't
sounds
go to Nipple
That sounds so
Beach?
natural. Nipple Beach, Florida.
Nipple
Right?
Beach, Florida.
Yeah.
There's got to be a Nipple Beach, Florida.
probably
Somebody
is.
Google that.
Anyway, the other thing you want to consider is vacations. Especially, nobody wants to deal with cleaning and taking care of a piercing while they're in a wonderful place where they want to actually visit and do stuff. And it's the same thing with tattoos. Work-wise, if you have a period, your body always heals faster when you have when you're living healthy. You have less stress in your life, and you're well rested. So if you have a period of time, especially if you're doing something like an oral piercing, you want to have it at a time when you don't have to talk a lot or deal with your kids or whatever's going on in your life that brings stress into it. Not saying kids are stressful, but
They are.
yeah, sometimes. Anyway, but yeah, for me, it's usually the fall. You're covered up. You're not dealing with as much dirt and debris and exposure. Sometimes piercings like to be covered with especially cotton, where you don't have to worry about dust and debris and stuff getting on it. It's an open wound for that whole period of time, so you're acceptable to infection. No way around it. Especially if it's a long healing piercing. Maybe if it's a shorter healing one, you might be able to get away with it in the early spring and have it ready by the time summer comes around. But you're not dealing with it. Oh, one other thing is you do not want to tan with a healing piercing because it can change the pigment of the scar tissue. Have you ever seen anybody that has a navel piercing and there's a bright kind of reddish or darkish area around the piercing? That's because they went to tanning beds while they were healing it and tanned and tanned and tanned to the point where it changed and altered the color of the scar tissue.
That new tissue coming up gets
And it will
extra
be-
melaninated.
And it's
I
permanent.
didn't know that.
Yep. And you can't really put sunblock on it because you don't want all those oils and everything in the piercing.
Yeah.
So always consider those things and ask. And like I said, it depends on what you do for work. Know the future. If you're going to have a medical problem, you're going in for hip surgery in 6 months, or you're going to have to go in for an MRI. Wait till afterwards, then get it done. If your boss is going to send you on some tour of the Northwest to research something, and you're going to be from hotel to hotel to hotel to hotel with no control over your environment, wait till after you're done doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah.
No
So
bad
the
luck.
question, I guess the answer is it's always up to you what the best time is. And kind of look into your future, look at your schedule, and kind of plan it out ahead of time.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Jack,
Thanks
something.
for watching, guys. We have a lot of fun doing this, so let us know what you like and what you don't like. Click like, click subscribe, click everything. Just click on everything except for the pop-up ads. You never know where those are going to lead you. Don't forget Death Before Decaf. Don't forget to share this to everyone you know multiple times. Blow them up with it. And what else am I forgetting?
That's it.
Be nice to each other. See you next time.